This is Dave with MTB Discount again. Today we're doing the conversion on the axles on our Stan's no-tube arch wheel set. We opted to go with the arch. They're a little lighter, but they're a great trail wheel, very durable. We've had good success with them. If you're looking for a more heavyweight wheel, we suggest the Flow, something that's more all-mountain oriented. You can do a lot of drops and jumps with it without bending. First things up is they all come standard with the 9mm quick release, and so you're going to have to convert them yourself. The front is easy, and it comes with all the parts you're going to need. You can basically take the quick release out with fingers, or a lot of times the O-rings are set. Use a set of pliers or a wrench and just pull on the hubs until they come out. The other tools you'll need will be for the rear. Once you go ahead and pull those out, the little O-ring seal is what kind of retains them in there. They're greased. You'll take the 15mm versions and grease them up with a little bit of your white Lightening Crystal grease, and then just pop them in place. I mean, that's all there is to the front hub. Real easy. The rims are already taped and ready to go with the yellow tape, and the valves are already in place when you buy them. So they're all set up for tubeless conversion right off the bat. If you want to run tubes, you just pull the valves out, obviously, and drop your tubes in. That takes care of the front. The rear, a little more complicated, but again, very easy. The tools you're going to need for this are going to be a 17mm cone wrench, a little bit of a hammer, soft rubber mallet, a 5mm hex head wrench, and you're going to need some sort of bladed piece. I use a washer. You can use any flat bladed piece, and you'll see why in just a moment. And then to tap in the bearings again, I use a 17mm deep well socket. If you've got a bearing press, that's great, but you don't necessarily need one. It goes back in easy enough to use a standard socket or something soft like that where it doesn't damage the bearings themselves. So, and again, you're going to want your grease. So first thing you need to do is you take off the quick release, and then you're going to need to unthread the back piece on the drive side with your 5mm wrench. You pop this piece off here on the non-drive side, and again it's just held in with tension, and you've got a little blade here, you can see, and this is where we're dropping in our washer. You can use anything flat. You can use the edge of the cone wrench if it's narrow enough, and then you drop in your 5mm wrench on the other side, and then just it'll be snug a little bit, and then you just spin it loose. Once it breaks free, it'll just spin right off by hand. And once you spin it off, you've got access to your free hub. And again, don't be intimidated. Taking off the free hub on these is very easy. It's just held in with a little tension, as you see there. And sometimes you've got a little spacer here, a 10mm spacer that'll come off with it sometimes because it is greased, new from the factory. But a lot of times if you've already used it for a bit, it'll still sit on the axle. You'll need to actually remove that and place your pieces down somewhere where they're not going to get dirty. Now that that's out, basically this is ready to go. You take your soft mallet and you're going to have to tap out the axle. So you just want to give it a couple good taps until it breaks free. Again, kind of supporting the hub. You don't want to bend the spokes, so don't place it anywhere where you're going to actually put stress on the spokes. And once it's out, you need to remove the bearing from it, and the bearing sometimes is a little stiff, but again, usually pops right off. So we've got our 12x142 conversion kit. It comes with the new axle and the two hub end pieces. So again, you take this, you want to lightly grease it with some waterproof grease, light grease, and again we've already done that, and then slide your bearing on the outside into the same spot that you had your existing bearing, and then we're going to place that back into the shell, and it helps to grease the edges of the bearing a little bit, makes it a little easier for it to slide into the hub. So again, slide that in place, and you're going to hit some resistance here where the bearing starts to seat, and that's where I use the deep well socket. Again, it lines up well with the outside of the bearing race, and doesn't damage the bearing. And we'll just give it a couple light taps. and you can hear it seat. Again, very easy. It should slide in without too much trouble, and no damage that way to the hub itself. So now that it's through, we're going to take the spacer, drop that back on. Again, now's a good time if you've got an older hub to actually re-grease the hub. You want to use some lightweight grease, something that's not going to cause a lot of friction. Then we pop on the hub itself, and sometimes it'll stick. You've just got to kind of rotate it and counterclockwise, and it'll usually get the teeth to drop into place. If not, you can use a small bladed screwdriver and kind of push it in there until the teeth kind of drop in. But again, usually fairly easy. So now we've got it placed together here. We're going to use the newer pieces. One side is threaded, one side's non-threaded. So you want to grab the threaded piece, place it back onto the drive side, and start threading it into place. And again, it'll spin on very easy. You just want to make sure that you get it hand tight, and then we're going to take, again, our washer, place it into the groove here. We're taking our 17mm cone wrench, placing it across here, and we're going to just snug it down. Not over tighten, you want it snug so that it puts some pressure on it and keeps the bearings in place. And then we take our outside 12mm axle adapter, pop that into place, and now you're ready to go. That's all there is to doing the conversion to the 142. So next time join us, we're going to be actually putting on the tires and showing you how to do a tubeless setup. Thanks.